Hey everyone, good afternoon. My name is Zach Bowman. It is 6:02 p.m. on December 29th, 2024. It's Sunday. I hope you guys are doing awesome. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you're excited about the new year. I hope you're excited about hitting your goals, doing what you want, traveling where you want to go, buying the things that you want, and just having a great life. So, the beginning of this video and the start of this playlist is going to be how I'm going to turn $2,000 into a potential retirement strategy within my retirement goal of the year 2060. Okay. So what we're going to do. Okay. So this is not financial advice. We are going to do an exercise for myself. If you're curious to do the exercise yourself with whatever money you want to do it. I don't care. This is what I'm doing to see if Bitcoin and crypto is a strategic investment for my retirement portfolio. I'm putting this out towards 2060. So we got over 30 years, 36 years of working till we get to 2060. I don't plan on retiring. I plan on always working in some form of fashion, whether it be making content, selling roofs, investing, building, a brand, trying to sell cold consulting and coaching services in the future as I continue to lose weight and help people lose weight. That's one of the goals that I have. But really, it's to be financially free and have my money working for me. So the typical way that, I was taught in school and from my parents, and this isn't, to blame anyone, but this is typically just what happens. Like, let's put some money in a Roth. Let's have it, you know, last 40 years till you retire at 65. And hopefully, the stocks do well, the market does well, and you're able to retire and pay for the things you want to do. As you have a family, as you have grandkids, as you move around, as you travel, as you just experience life. How do we make money work for ourselves? And I'll be the first to say, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm putting risk out there. I'm going to try and see what happens with something that I hypothetically believe in. No, I do believe in it, not hypothetical. But I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in this space. Crypto, Bitcoin, it's less than $5 trillion asset. There's $900 trillion worth of assets in the global economy today. It's going to grow. Everything is being digitized. So, not financial advice, but let's hypothetically do. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to start with $0. I'm 31. We're going to contribute $2,000 annually. We want to retire at 65. We're going to expect, just a decent return of 12%. $25%, sure, I don't know. Calculate. Okay. So doing things the traditional way And again, this is not financial advice. I don't care what you guys do with your money. I am taking a $2,000 risk here and going to see what happens in 10 to 20 years. And I'm going to have proof of what happens because I'm making videos on this. You're not making videos on this. I am trying to move forward the needle forward and make more money, make a brand, build myself up. Like, why? I'm trying to achieve greatness, and I think you should be trying to achieve greatness too. And managing your money well is important. So with the Roth 31, $2,000 annually, we want to retire at 65. We're going to calculate that. We're going to do it in North Carolina or whatever that is. So you got about, just under $800,000 in your IRA. If you contribute $2,000 annually, if you retire at 65, your money's held up that whole entire time. You can't take it out without getting a penalty. Your rate of return is 12%. Who knows what inflation will be at that point? Your tax rate is 25%. You didn't maximize your contributions. I mean, we can put it up to, okay. Regardless, we're talking about $800,000. So that's theoretically what I'm looking at if I invest $2,000 every year, or if you invest $2,000 every year into a Roth and it grows at 12%. Sure, your money's going to work for you, and that's awesome, and that's how things should work, and that's the standard way of thinking. In terms of taking a risk, $2,000 is, let's look and see what 0.02 Bitcoin is. .02 times 93,345. So that's 1866. So let's just say $2,000. You put in $2,000, you buy $2,000 worth of Bitcoin today. And again, this is not financial advice. Do what you want with your own money. I'm curious to see what happens with my money. By 2060, based on Bitcoin growing at a fair percentage based on the math of the past. So before we get into numbers, if we look at Bitcoin returns, 2012 was 183%. 2013, over 5,000% returns year over year. 2014 kind of sucked, minus 50%. You're going to have to get used to your money, fluctuating. There's going to be some volatility. But what we're seeing long term is recovery and growth. 49% in 2015, 130% in 2016, over 1,100% in 2017, pullback in 2018, 72%. But guys, I mean, if we're going up 1,100% and we come back down 72%, I mean, like, even though it's kind of a slap in the face and it hurts, like, you can't be that greedy. Like, I mean, be thankful that it went up in the first place. Back up the next year, 97%, then 270%, then 72%, then down 62%. Now it's back up 146%. I don't know where it's going to be this year. I don't really care. It's either going to be red or green. Most often than not, it's green. So the lowest is like 70%. Okay. So we have 70% growth year over year, maybe 50% growth year over year, right? And you might have a shit year where it goes down some. But if we look at the math and just say, hey, I'm investing in an asset that is going to give me 50% return year over year on my investment. $2,000, the current Bitcoin price is $93,000. So you're buying 0.02 Bitcoin, $2,000 worth. The retirement goal. This is a fair goal, guys. Everyone, wants to be a millionaire. I wouldn't worry about numbers. I would worry about what you're doing overall and the freedom that you have. That's how I would calculate my life. I'm trying to be able to travel. I'm trying to be able to work where I want. I'm trying to be able to work for a brand that is just completely within the community, providing the best value possible. Kind of like what Amazon has done in terms of home services. I think that's what the company I'm working for is going to do in the future, and I'm excited to see what happens. In terms of just quick money goals, and I don't say quick to sound like some, clickbait person that says how to get rich quick. I'm talking about 36 years of growth here. So this is very long term. This is very conservative. I want to change, or I want to convert, or I want my $2,000 to turn into $1 million by 2060. If we calculate that, Bitcoin would need to grow 19% per year for you to retire off Bitcoin by the year 2060. If Bitcoin grows by 19% per year, your 0.02%, your 0.02 Bitcoin, so your $2,000, will be worth $1 million in year 2060. So when we look at the traditional method of investing $2,000 every year in a Roth IRA for however many years until you're 65, so say you're 25, that's 40 years. With just holding on to $2,000 worth of Bitcoin, if it performs at a 19% interval year over year, you're going to have $1 million. Not financial advice. What happens if we have a crazy year, right? And we get 146%. Let's just say 100% increase, right? Let's look at some of the numbers. Let's change it to $10 million. If Bitcoin grows 26.93% per year, it'll be worth $10 million in the year 2060. $10 million, a $2,000 investment going to $10 million, just needs to grow 26% year over year. In 15 years, $12 years, I guess this chart shows, we have growth. We have significant growth. Now, when you have a red year, it sucks. So you don't buy a house with Bitcoin that year. You buy a house with Bitcoin in this year. You buy a house with Bitcoin in this year. You just continue to stack in this year. You buy a house this year. You can't time the market. The only thing you can time is trying to buy the best asset. Okay. So let's go back to this. Okay. And the thing that's interesting is, like, with Bitcoin, you don't have to, you can just add to your stack. You don't have to wait every year like the IRA to just only invest X amount of dollars or $7,500 in an IRA and however much now it is in a 401k. You just add this. Add to your Venmo. Add your wallet. So today is the 29th of December in 2024. When we look at my investment today, and this is all hypothetical, not financial advice. I'm taking a risk, and I'm going to see what happens. $2,000, so twice this, invested into Bitcoin at $93,000 will turn into $10 million in 2060 if it grows at 26.93% a year. Historically, it's performed 50%, 131%, 1100%, minus 72%, sucky year, 97% bounce back, 270, 72%, 62% negative, 146 positive. Take the risk, not financial advice. Let's say hypothetically, okay, let's go to ChatGPT. What does the average American spend a year in wasted items? So, all right, we're easily looking at you're probably wasting. Okay, so you're asking yourself, well, Zach, how do I come up with $100, $200, $1,000, $2,000? Okay, one, start saving $50 a month. Don't go out one night during the month and get dinner. Instead of getting, 3 pizzas for everyone, just get 1 pizza and eat a little bit. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Don't kill your wallet, lose weight at the same time. All I want to do with my life is live as effectively and as just smoothly as possible. So if I can save money by spending a little bit of money at Chipotle, get full for the day and not have to eat and worry about going to the grocery store and driving and thinking about that other stuff, that's saving me time and money. So everything's an opportunity cost. If we look at, you're probably wasting money. You're wasting money on food. I know you're wasting money on clothing. When people are like, Zach, why'd you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin? I'm like, why'd you go out and spend $500 drinking last night? Oh, and then you spent $100 on food. Okay. Yeah, I drank coffee, got Chipotle, didn't buy any alcohol, spent $50 on Bitcoin. You spent $500. I invested $100 into myself, into my future, into something potentially that might disrupt the money system and give fairness back to the community. So, how much does the average American have in savings today? Okay, as of 2023, the average American savings balance is estimated to be around 41 grand. However, this figure can be misleading due to the wide disparities in savings among individuals. The median savings, which represents the middle point where half of Americans save more and half save less, is much lower, around $5,300. So let's bump it up to 5K. So we're at 2K. Let's bump it up to a fifth of a coin. A fifth of a coin is equal to 0.2 times 93 times 93,345. Okay, this is a lot of money. It's a lot of money now. And it's crazy that you used to be able to get 5 Bitcoin for just solving a CAPTCHA. That shows you how much money is transferring into this asset. And that's what all money is making, or about making money is about, in my opinion. It's transferring assets from one person to another. Um, it's the unfortunate truth. I make something that you want, you buy it from me, I make profit on that. And the best way to avoid that is to do everything yourself, to fix your house yourself, to sell stuff yourself. You get the top dollar for selling cars yourself on, say, a Corvette forum. Instead of going to the dealer and getting the trade-in value, wait, sell it to an enthusiast, get a couple more $1,000s. The same thing goes with, overall, say hypothetically, you have not 0.29, 0.20 times 90, come on, times 93,345. Okay. I was about to say that seemed more expensive. I was like, Bitcoin's not that expensive. I mean, it is expensive, but let's say you got a fifth of a coin, and we look at how many people can own 0.02 Bitcoin based on population. Okay. So if we look at ChatGPT, only 97.5 million people can own 0.2 Bitcoin if the total supply were distributed evenly across the global population. It's crazy. So let's just say, instead of buying a car, let's say your 4-year goal. Let's say this. Okay, we're gonna start this now. I have a goal of buying a personal vehicle by December of 2025. Hypothetically, no, not actual. I'm going to, okay, let's run some different numbers. But let's just say overall, you're saying, hey, Zach, not financial advice. What are you seeing in the market? You got 20 grand? You got 18 grand? You're going to buy a car. You're going to waste money on a depreciating asset. You're going to lease a car. You're going to just piss away money. Put it into Bitcoin, not financial advice. See what happens. It just needs to grow 11% year over year. 2060, it'll be worth $1 million, not financial advice. If we look at this differently, let's go back to 0.02, because so we want to buy a $35,000 car, and we want to do that by 2025. Okay. So that's not going to happen. Let's do, okay, let's do 10 years. I think 10 years is fair. Okay. So say I want to buy a $35,000 personal vehicle in 10 years. I want to take $2,000 and turn it into $35,000. And I want to do that in 10 years' time. And all I can think about is, man, I wish it was 10 years ago now, and I was putting in $2,000. I'd have a lot more Bitcoin. I'd have a lot more money, but it is what it is. We're still early, I think. Not financial advice. So we got $2,000 invested. We're going to You know, how much does the average individual, we'll do world population, spend on alcohol a year? All right, so let's say, okay, we're gonna say $1,000. No, honestly, a night of drinking out is like 100, $200. I'm doing that if I were to go out like at least once a month. That's, I mean, that's okay. People my age are spending $1,000 to $2,000 a year or more drinking. Let's say you're like, all right, we're not going to drink. We're gonna limit drinking. We're not going to spend 2K on drinking. We're not going to spend 2K going on trips. We're not going to spend 2K going to Vegas to get plastered. We're going to invest in ourselves. And we want to buy a GT 500 Mustang, Shelby Mustang, in the year 2034 with, in 10 years' time. If Bitcoin grows 34% per year, you'll be able to have that Shelby GT 500 in 10 years with $2,000 invested right now. The goal and what a lot of financial advisors suggest, not financial advice, or at least what BlackRock has said, is, diversifying and having one. That's a good goal. That's an incredible goal. When we look at turning that into $10 million by the year 2060, Bitcoin would need to grow 6.81% per year for me to retire if I had one Bitcoin. If Bitcoin grows 6% per year, your one Bitcoin, if you can get to one Bitcoin, the goal of just having one, by 2060, if it grows 6% year over year, yeah. Let's figure out what it's at 50%. If it grows at 50%, let's put in 10 million. 13%. Hypothetically, let's see what it's at 100 million. 21%. Let's see what it's at $1 billion. 29%. Let's see what it's at 10 billion. We want to get to 50%, right? So, okay. We were talking about $2,000 invested for 40 years to get $800,000 in a traditional Roth IRA at 12% year over year with a 25% tax bracket. Hypothetically, not financial advice, if you can get to one Bitcoin over the course of the next 30 years, regardless of the price, and your retirement goal is by the year 2060, at the lowest interval, 49%. This isn't even at 100% or 5,000% or 1,000% or 200% or 72% or 146% or the lows. You can't forget the lows, but you have to be able to embrace the lows. We're talking about $100 billion. $100 billion. Let that sink in. What does the average American make finance? What is the average American worth? Let's see if it. Okay. Let's just say you're worth 50 grand, right? Let's say you're worth 50 grand. You have a $50,000 to your name with your house, with your car, with just anything and everything. 0.5 Bitcoin. Let's say it's under 50 grand, because you just divide 93K divided by 2. We're going to calculate. Zach, I want $10 million. I can retire off $10 million. Okay. So let's say you bust your ass this next year. You make 100K, you take home however much, you invest a lot of it over the next couple of years into Bitcoin, not financial advice. You have almost $50,000 of Bitcoin. By keeping it in Bitcoin and holding it and not doing anything, in the year 2060, if it performs at 16% year over year, that's $10 million. When I talk about when does Bitcoin halving end? 2140. No more Bitcoin in 2141 or 2140. 2140. So when I'm long and gone, when my kids, grandkids are talking about money and talking about ingenuity and coming up with an idea to think ahead of the curve, think ahead of the disruption, think ahead of what is happening digitally. Over the course of my lifetime, I'm going to make a lot more than $50,000. It's going to happen. I'm going to provide great value to people. I'm going to provide great service to people. I'm going to create a great brand for myself. I'm going to engage everybody, and my authenticity will take me far in life, and I truly believe that. I truly believe I'm doing honest and good work every day and trying to be a good and honest person. So you're telling me, Zach, why are you so convinced that this is potentially going to do something? Well, MicroStrategy's made a lot of money. Germany could have made a lot of money if they just held onto their Bitcoin and did nothing, but they were ridiculous and sold it. They didn't have to sell it. If my family holds on to, hypothetically, $50,000 of Bitcoin over my entire lifetime, as I continue to make more money, invest in it, buy things, invest in the community, we're talking about great grandkids or great grandkids in 2140. I don't even know what that would be. So $50,000, if Bitcoin grows 4.74% year over year, it'll be worth $10 million in 2140. It just needs to grow 4%. Zach, that's not enough. I want $100 million. Okay. And well, it just needs to grow a little bit more. 6%. Zach, that's not enough. I got bills to pay, man. I wanna travel the world. I wanna support my community. I want to give back. I want to I want to live in a fair world where the playing field is leveled and money is equal. Okay. You're a billionaire if you invest $50,000 into Bitcoin and it grows less than 10% year over year until 2140. Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. What is inflation? What is the current inflation percentage. What is inflation currently at? Let's just say it's freaking 10%. I don't know. I like $1 million figure. I think that's a lot of money. $1 million is a lot of money. Bitcoin grows at 8% year over year. 2016 is going to be worth $1 million. 50 grand to $1 million. 10 million, 16%. What if we have 100% growth? It's getting stupid, honestly. Everything's just a factor of magnitude. I mean, wealth is just a creation of margin, and if you have $100, you're poor, but if you move it a couple logs, you have $100,000 and you're rich. That's kind of what Bitcoin does. It's replacing, it's debasing, it's a deflationary currency to other assets. So, okay. Let's say you got 1 Bitcoin. Let's say the math holds just for a year. Let's say it goes up a log, million. No. Come on. Let's just say 10 years. Okay. I want to get to 100% growth. Okay, that's about 100%. So let's just say crazy long-term bullish prediction. $100 million in 10 years, 1 Bitcoin. Let's say you got 1,000 Bitcoin and you want to be worth $1 billion. And you want to retire in 2048. I mean, it's crazy, man. So enough with the spiel. I think overall, divide by 10. Oh, come on. Divide by 10, go in order of magnitude down, 1 log down. I'm curious to see all right. I think it's fair. 2 grand into Bitcoin today, not financial advice. I think, don't drink for a little bit. Don't buy that Gucci purse. Don't buy those Oakleys. You don't need them. Save your money. If you're going to buy something, buy the best. Buy something that holds its value. $2,000. Let's see what happens. 87% year over year. $1 million in 10 years. Timestamp this video. Clip it. Come visit it in 10 years and tell me how it performed against other assets. That's how I'm going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you later.